Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Lights Camera Discussion podcast. I'm Mass903, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, a couple of proper bad lads, Collie and Todd. Guys, how are we doing today?
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
No, I
know.
didn't either.
I
That was
tried to
better
subvert it
than-
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I could have guaranteed it was going to be something about predators.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Like I'm Massey, Chris Hansen or whatever, and but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. See,
You were right. It was the worst one, Massey.
Yeah,
it was the
thanks.
worst one.
Well, today we are obviously back with another episode, and it was Toddy Boy's choice. So, Todd, who was speaking about today? Give us a bit of a background on this person.
So today we are talking about Dan Trachtenberg, Danny T to his pals. So I know personally. Dan Trachtenberg is an American writer and director who was born in Philly in the late 80s. Starting off making films with his family, Trachtenberg has gone on to direct TV, some of which we'll talk about today, as well as film. Winning the Directors Guild nomination for his debut feature, Trachtenberg has since been given the keys to the Predator franchise, which has come to be known by some as the Trachtenverse.
The Trachtenverse. Who calls it that?
Yeah, I did not come across that once in my research, Todd.
No?
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Thanks.
Todd
appreciate
calls it
it.
that. So yeah.
I'm just trying to
Todd also
coin
calls him Danny T apparently. So
Danny T. I'm with Danny T.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, this is going to be over a couple of parts. I think we decided on doing Cloverfield Lane and then Playtest, and then keeping the three Predators together in part 2. So, Todd, get us started. We'll talk about first.
So our first film is 10 Cloverfield Lane. After being rescued from a car accident, Michelle finds herself captive by the same man who kept her alive. Howard insists that to go outside would mean certain death, and he is doing this for Michelle's good. Michelle must decide whether to trust Howard or try and escape.
Interesting. Well, Todd, talk us through your first thoughts on this. Is it a first watch for yourself, or have you seen this before?
No, so this is a rewatch for me, and it's a film that I don't rewatch enough. And every time I watch it, I get excited by it, and I just think, why have I not watched this more? My main takeaway from it is I'm gutted that it was called 10 Cloverfield Lane. It would have been good to find out that it's in the Cloverfield franchise afterwards. But yes, very good.
Very interesting take. When you say you're not rewatched it enough, is it because you're too busy watching Late Night with the Devil?
That's probably why.
Yeah.
I've done a few rewatches.
certainly not busy watching The Odyssey, that's for sure.
I've watched it. I've seen it, and it was amazing.
Spoilers.
That's for another episode.
Yeah. Collie, first thoughts on Cloverfield Lane?
I remember watching it at the time, and it was intriguing the fact that it was going to be in part of the Cloverfield universe, or Cloververse, as some people call it.
The Track TV Cloververse.
Did it need to be part of it? Absolutely not. But I don't think it lessens the impact for me. Whether it would have been a standalone or part of that. Really enjoy it. Some great performances. I think because it's essentially a single location, the performances are paramount for it being good. And I think all three are excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First watch for me, it's one that I've kind of always sort of meant to get round to because I've enjoyed other Cloverfield films and stuff like that as well. But I knew how it linked with, you hear about all the, how it links and stuff like that. So I kind of knew sort of what happened in the end and stuff. But yeah, I'd never really got around to watching it, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of those that is, as you say, quite an intimate film, and relies on the actors doing their thing, and yeah, I think it's really well performed, really interesting. On the sort of topic of the Cloverfield thing, kind of thing, I do wonder if it's like a blessing and a curse, in that maybe more people watched it than might not have if it didn't have the Cloverfield name.
100%, especially as a directorial debut, for sure.
Yeah. So it's one of those where like it probably helped it, but then maybe shoehorned a little bit into the end, but you know, it is what it is, kind of thing. But
Can I just circle back around to you saying that you enjoyed the other Cloverfield films? You enjoyed Paradox.
oh, sorry, no, I'm not seeing Paradox.
You're the one
no.
person in the universe that enjoyed Paradox.
I've
Sorry, I
not,
just
I've
wanted to
not
check
seen that one. No, sorry, I meant like I meant the original Cloverfield.
Yes,
I really enjoyed. So yeah, no, it was a very good film. Well, let's kind of get into, obviously, as we're talking about the sort of the fact that it's such an intimate film with a limited cast. Obviously, the main three, we've got John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and John Gallagher Jr. as well. So, Todd, what are your thoughts on them, their kind of relationships and stuff from there?
Yeah, so Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think, is immediately believable. Like she what's that face for?
You love her.
I do a little bit.
Stop going on about Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You're never going to meet her.
She's Ramona. She'll always be Ramona.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, yeah. She was amazing, and I think she brings that like level of, what's the word, prestige immediately. I think she's like solid straight away. But yeah, she was fantastic, and I think she bounces up well off the other two as well.
She was solid straight away.
Yes, she was.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just wanted to check there. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh gosh, Collie, thoughts on Ramona?
Yeah, I thought she was great. She kind of has that Ripley aesthetic in terms of a strong, female heroine kind of role. And you kind of see that from the offset as soon as she wakes up in John Goodman's little I don't know,
hovel
bunker. Yeah. Yeah, she's immediately unsure and stands up for herself, but she's also quite intelligent with how she plays it, and like doesn't manipulate John Gallagher Jr.'s character, but has enough wherewithal to kind of get the information out of him and stay away from John Goodman. But then when it comes to the action scenes at the end, I think she was really believable. Because obviously John Goodman's this big imposing character, but she's strong-willed enough and savvy enough to use her environment and stuff to overcome him. So yeah, very believable in her role. And yeah, just good. Like, I think a lesser actress would have maybe struggled a little bit because John Goodman's such a big character actor. But I think she stands toe to toe with him, which is really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree, and I think part of it is her performance, part of it's the writing as well, because I don't ever think she makes a bad decision. It's always kind of like you can feel the sort of the cogs turning behind every sort of choice that she makes and stuff, whether it is like using intelligence or try to use like brute force to get away and stuff as well. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed her as well. You're absolutely spot on with John Goodman being such a big force. It was back when he kind of had the imposing figure, which he's not lost quite a lot of weight nowadays. So like he's maybe not as big as he was. And it could easily get to a point where he kind of takes over the scenes. But yeah, I really thought that she did a great job sort of opposite him. I thought her performance was more than just like a damsel in distress sort of thing, which was interesting, which was good, which was well done. Talking about John Goodman, of course, he's the main, the person that's kind of kidnapped Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. What were your thoughts on John Goodman, Todd?
Yeah, so he's seen as quite like the look. Obviously, having him as Sully in Monsters Inc. and stuff, and like he can be quite the lovable character. In this, he's the most threatening person. Like he goes from being that nice guy, and we'll talk scenes and stuff, but he goes from being the nice guy to being threatening so quickly and so easily. I thought he was amazing, and it's a side to him that I don't think I'd seen before. Like when I saw this film, I don't think I'd seen anything where he was as imposing, maybe, and especially not as antagonistic. So yeah, I thought, and like I said, the three of them worked really well with him being that kind of the power within them, which I thought was an interesting dynamic. But yeah, it's nice that he had a bit of fun with it as well. Like it wasn't just all serious Goodman. There was some some daft bits there as well, included in the trailer and stuff. But yeah, and as well that the emotional side of it. So you've got a lot of different aspects of his performance: the emotional side, the menacing, but also like having a bit of a laugh and enjoying it as well.
Yeah, it felt to me like he was it was almost like the father. Obviously, you know, in a sort of twisted sort of way, he had that kind of repertoire with him, but also being like an authoritarian as well. But yeah, it's obviously quite he maybe had the wrong way about going about things, but yeah, it was the kind of the fatherly figure for the other two. It felt like for me, and I thought his ambiguity as well was really good. Like you never really know what was going on and why he was sort of doing it, but you could kind of tell that he sort of thought he was doing it for the right reasons anyway. Colin, what were your thoughts on John Goodman?
Yeah, I think he's both covered a lot of it. It was an interesting, like, dark turn for him. And yeah, the fact that he's like proven right at the end that the world has gone to shit outside, I thought that was an interesting like validation of his, you know, doomsday planning, etc. Yeah, just his physicality and his imposingness to, I won't say any particular scene because, you know, it's certainly one of them's my favorite and stuff, so I don't want to step on that section quite yet. But yeah, his conversation, his fatherly overseeing kind of things, a good point to make by yourself, Massey. I think he definitely sees himself as that with you know, a younger guy, especially when he's taken God, what's his character's name? John Gallagher Jr.
Emmett.
He like obviously had him under his wing a little bit prior to it, with involving of actually, you know, getting the doomsday bunker ready and stuff like that. So he already had that kind of, maybe not necessarily even father, but just kind of a mentor and an apprentice kind of thing. And then obviously bringing a young female in has certain connotations of what he was wanting to do, maybe in the post-apocalyptic world, shall we say. But yeah, just a great turn by him. And I was kind of not surprised because of like it's being a lesser like kind of caliber of film and stuff. But when you look at like best actors in a supporting role, because I'd probably have him supporting to Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the Oscars. You know, just because we cover it and stuff, I always try and have a look to see if somebody could have been nominated and stuff. And this was the year that Mahershala Ali won for Moonlight, which is a good win. Jeff Bridges nominated for Hell or High Water, Lucas Hedges, Manchester by the Sea. And then you've got Dev Patel for Lion and Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. And I think I'd probably argue that John Goodman could have been nominated instead of either of those last two, maybe. But that doesn't lessen the fact of how good he is in it. So, but it's always just interesting to see, could he have slotted in as kind of a, you know, surprise nomination. I guess 10 years ago, you know, horror wasn't even getting a look in at the Oscars, whereas maybe nowadays it would have been more likely. But regardless, a really great turn, and like I say, kind of against type for Sully from Monsters Inc.
Yep, he was less hairy in this one as well. Just quickly touching on obviously on Emmett as well. Then, I actually thought that he was quite a nice sort of like in between of the two of them. Like he kind of had that naivety a little bit, you know, being almost not controlled, but again, as you said, Collie, like he was always like the mentee of John Goodman, but then he was also kind of Michelle was sort of, you know, kind of nudging in one way as well, and certain things. I thought was a really nice kind of in between of the two characters. Anyway, what were your thoughts on his performance, Todd?
Yeah, it's strange for me seeing him in like the underfoot character, because so in this same year he did Hush with Mike Flanagan, where he is the killer, the bad guy, and he's a bastard, and he plays it really well. And then he's also in the Belko Experiment, which James Gunn wrote, where he's sort of the hero. A great film.
It's not. It's a terrible Todd Shudder dog shit
fantastic
film.
Let's save that for later.
And that will appear. So it's strange to see him be that sort of underfoot character where he's being manipulated by other people, because that I haven't seen that from him before. But I think he did a great job. I think he's also the surprise out the three. We know what to expect from John Goodman. We know what to expect from Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but we don't know. I didn't know when I watched this what to expect from him, and I think that played better into the character, because then as well, what you're wondering is Emmett, part of Howard's plan? Is he on Howard's side the entire time? Can Michelle really trust him or not? And I think that was a brilliant dynamic between the three. And I think that was largely because of how he played it.
Absolutely. Hey, Collie?
Yeah, I thought he was a good supporting character. A good point by Todd there in terms of you didn't know whose side he was on. I don't really recognise him from much. I have seen Hush once back in the day, but I don't really remember it. So he was essentially a new actor for me. And I thought the way that he told the line of is he helping Michelle or is he helping Howard? Obviously that does go along with the writing, which I know you mentioned it earlier, Massey, but do you know who one of the screenplay writers was on this?
Yeah, our boy.
Yeah, we're an audio podcast, Massey, sitting there going, isn't much of a help.
No, I was waiting to see if Todd would have known.
Oh yes, yeah. Because I didn't it wasn't part of the research. It was in the.
I don't know why we're teasing this out. It's Damien Chazelle, for anybody that doesn't know. As if this is going to be a big reveal, but yeah. Man, fuck yous. I'm not bringing any more trivia to this podcast. Fuck you, Perius. Massey's just sitting like a fucking nodding dog. And
Yeah.
Todd's just like, when are we going to talk about Shudder?
Soon.
This might be my choice, but fuck it.
Oh well. Yeah, I mean, talking about the writing, then, do you want to kind of delve into that a little bit? Because obviously, it's quite an intimate film. There is some interesting sort of more intimate moments. Todd, was there anything that sort of jumped out for you?
I think it was more the sort of I think the ambiguity of Howard's character is where the writing for me works really well, because there's the talk of his daughter, and is it his daughter and is it not, and it's not somebody who we see. Do you know what I mean? It's not a character in the film, and I think it adds to and again, me banging on about the horror, but it adds to that level of horror. It adds that level of tension, and I think it has to be well written, because if it's not, the film falls to pieces. It only relies on the performances. And my favourite scene, which I won't go into now, but my favourite scene is fully based on the dialogue and how cleverly that's done. But again, I think it also, in terms of he isn't, he is the bad guy, he isn't, he's keeping a captive for nefarious reasons, he isn't, oh my god, look at the pigs. And I think elements of that worked really well as well.
Cool. Collie, anything for yourself you want to cover with that?
No, I think Todd nailed it there in terms of the writing needs to be quite tight and bringing across that ambiguity of who's telling the truth and who's not. It is really important, so I think they did do really well.
Yep, absolutely. Okie doke. Anything else you want to discuss, or should we go into our categories?
I'm fine for subject categories.
Cool, perfect. Okay. So favourite quote then, Todd?
So my favourite quote was, people are strange creatures. You can't always convince them that their safety is in their best interest. I thought it summed up the film perfectly.
Mm-hmm. A similar one again is Howard. Crazy is building your ark after the flood has already come.
That's cool.
Collie?
Yeah, I was torn between those two, but I went with the people are strange creatures one that Todd had.
Yep, indeed they are. Favourite scene, Todd?
The charade scene with that I'm always watching, and seeing Emmett start to panic and debating whether or not he comes clean, and then for Michelle to get that it's Santa Claus that he's doing the charades. That was, again, it's that building of tension. He knows. Hang on, no, he doesn't. Well, he sort of does. I thought it was genius.
Yeah, for me it was the airlock scene. Where it almost started to hit home to Michelle that maybe there was a bit more that Howard was actually right about some things.
Sorry, the one with the women at the
with
airlock.
the women, the women smashing at the door and stuff. Collie?
Mine's just the same as Todd. The charades and the Santa reveal I thought was really good. A lot of tension building and stuff, and you don't know exactly what he's hinting at.
Edge of your seat kind of stuff. And finally, MVP, Todd.
John Goodman for me.
Yeah,
John Goodman.
John Goodman for myself as well, and Collie.
Probably Bradley Cooper for me, as the voice cameo of Michelle's fiance Ben.
I agree. Yeah, that's good. Very good. Okay. Ratings then, Todd.
I give it 4 stars.
Interesting. I also give it 4 stars. Collie.
I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe 4.5. Let me check. 4.5.
Good stuff. Okay, moving on to the next one, Todd.
Okay, so our next film is not a film at all. It is a TV episode.
What?
And we are looking at an episode of Black Mirror. It's called Playtest. So, left without money while travelling in England, Cooper agrees to playtest a new game system for cash. When the lines between reality and the game blur, Cooper finds himself stuck in the game with no way out.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, yeah. So a first for the Lights Camera Discussion podcast, we'll be talking about a TV episode. Todd, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just Black Mirror in general, just to touch on it, I think it can be massively hit and miss, and I think sometimes it can be that level of almost smug, in terms of like, oh, this is the future and it's going to be awful, and it just, you think, just calm yourself down. But this is brilliant. I think it works really well as a standalone. I think it could be extended. I think I wanted more time in the game world, and then for that to then be reduced down. Obviously, he's only in there for like 0.4 seconds or something. Spoiler, sorry. But like, I think for that to happen and to see that over a longer period of time would be even more devastating for the ending and stuff, and to, the whole, what felt like an Inception sort of thing, like layers on layers, where he was like coming out of a simulation and kept coming out. I thought even to have even more of that would have been amazing. But yes, it was a fantastic episode of television.
Collie?
Yeah, just on the Black Mirror thing in general, like anything pre-Bandersnatch I tended to quite enjoy, and then after that kind of it was very hit or miss. This was definitely one of the standout episodes on my first watch through of it, which is one of the reasons why I suggested we cover it, because it's kind of a stopper between Trachtenberg's first movie and then obviously when he goes into the Predator franchise. But yeah, I enjoy it. Well, I should have just said, sorry, this isn't a first watch. I remember watching it I don't think I watched it when it first came out, actually. I think is this the second season? The third season, sorry. So I think this was the first season I'd watched as it came out, whereas I think I'd caught up with the first two. But yeah, you kind of know the format of Black Mirror by that time, but there's enough twists and turns in this to keep it kind of fresh, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Black Mirror, and I'd never really seen this one, or never. Sorry, not really. I'd never seen this one. I don't know whether I'd just passed it by or if I'd just stopped watching it by that point. Because I know, as you said, Colin, it's kind of season 3 sort of thing. I think I watched 1 and 2, and then kind of stopped.
I think this was maybe the first one on Netflix.
Was that what it was? Maybe then, yeah.
I think the first 2 were maybe on Channel 4.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'd never seen this before. Didn't know what to expect, and yeah, I thought it was a really interesting hour of TV. I really like what you said, Todd, about like kind of the Inception layer. I think it was very layered, both, in the story, but I think also as well with the main character, of course, obviously, White Russell's character, and yeah, I didn't know where it was gonna go, and a very, as as is normal with Black Mirror, a very bittersweet kind of ending, I suppose, or very, very, very bleak. So yeah, I really enjoyed it actually for what it was. I mean, Todd, you obviously we're kind of jumping a bit here, but you kind of touched on how he was only in there for a couple of seconds or something there. I don't know if you guys saw there on YouTube, they actually have like the real time thing of him like being in it.
Oh.
So it's literally like just obviously the scenes from when he's getting put into it. And it's literally like 2 minutes long and stuff. It's really interesting to watch after having obviously watched the show, because it kind of gives you that sort of shown of how feeble and how quick it is. But yeah, it's really interesting to see that. But yeah, Wyatt Russell's obviously the sort of the main character in here. Does a lot of work. What were your thoughts on his performance, Todd? Obviously, just being the main guy.
I loved him, and looking at reviews and stuff, I know a lot of people found him to be a little bit sort of like overly sweet and a bit like YouTubery as such. I think it was the phrase people used. But I love that sort of American. No, that's not the phrase people use. That's the the vibe that people were giving off. But I love the sort of American Lost in England type of thing. And you know when he's in the game and he's like saying things to himself. He's not just talking to Katie's character, like he's talking to himself. I feel like when I've played VR, I do that sort of thing, especially in horror VR, to like kind of calm myself. So it felt very real. I love the sort of stripping away of this really positive guy who's obviously got some shit going on, but doesn't like to sort of let that out. He's quite a closed book, and you know he touches on certain things, and bit by bit he starts opening up until he absolutely loses his mind. I thought those moments especially were incredible. I thought he pulled that off really well. But you know that fun side of him as well. I thought was really nice to see. I think he's a fantastic actor anyway. I think he does great work. It's just nice to see him in some TV.
Colin?
Yeah, it's just quite an early introduction to Wyatt Russell for me. I don't know if this is my first exposure to him or not. I can't quite recall, but obviously he comes from strong genes. But yeah, his ability to play like the kind of naive, kind of lost in the world American tourist, like you say, Todd, to then the charming one with Sonia and stuff as they see each other, and then all the way to the end where he's terrified, or like obviously he's terrified within the playtest, but at the end when he's like pleading for his mum and stuff like that, I thought it was so multi-layered and really impressive to hit all those kind of notes within less than an hour of television was really, really good. I don't know if either of you have seen Monarch.
Oh no, the Godzilla one.
The MonsterVerse thing with him and his dad. I've not seen it yet, but apparently, like he goes toe to toe with his dad in terms of like being that good, and the fact that they're playing the same character, an older and a younger version of it's really cool. So I do mean to see that at some point because, like Todd says, he's a really good actor. I do enjoy all of his work.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to ask, is if there were, because I'm sure I read that they were like the same character, like in different time things. So that'd be really interesting.
I'm pretty certain that they are because I think it's set over 2 different periods,
right? And
it must go back and forth between the 2 of them, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely check it out. Absolutely. Yeah, I really loved him. I thought he was. It was at the start. He was a little bit annoying, but it's obviously he's an American, so that's what they're like. But then as you kind of like learned more about him and what secrets he was kind of holding back and his emotions and that, you really felt for him towards the end. Yeah, I thought he was a fantastic performance, and again, obviously, this was my first time watching it, so I'd seen him in other things as well. But it's great to see his kind of range as an actor, and even relatively early on doing this. It's great. But as you say, Collie, he comes from good genes, so I'm sure he's probably been around that sort of thing all his life and stuff.
Yeah,
well.
I just double checked there. It was Zook in 22 Jump Street was probably my first time that I'd seen him.
Yeah.
So he kind of just plays like a dumb American jock in that. So it's good that a couple of years later he got into something like this and was able to show his range.
I think the first time I saw him was in Goon 2.
Yeah, he's in Goon 2, yeah.
Yeah. When he's like goes to get Sean in the Scott. But anyway,
great movies.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. So there's, again, it's a relatively small cast. We do have Hannah John Cameron as Sonia, and then Oscar nominee Wunmi Mosaku as Katie as well. Obviously, Sonia had a bit more to do. Katie was kind of there to kind of almost progress the story a little bit, I suppose. But Sonia had a bit more to do there. What were your thoughts on those two guys, Todd?
Yeah, so Hannah John Kamen, who played Sonia, so she was in a TV show, again, sorry, just on like where we know them from, a TV show called The Stranger. And the subsequent seasons went garbage, but the first season was really good, and she was the best bit about it. What, are you all right, Collie?
Yeah.
What's that guy called?
But
Is that
Corbin
not,
something, isn't it?
Oh,
It?
fucking yeah! All his
Like a chat
pish, man.
GPT, like yeah. Aye, never mind, Todd.
Okay. But I really enjoyed her in that, and then obviously she was Ghost in the MCU and stuff. But yeah, she was fantastic, and it kind of, I trusted her from the beginning. I didn't think there was anything wrong, and then the moment she bursts into the house with him in it, you start to sort of lose it. And again, that's on her intensity. I thought Wumi Masako was decent enough. I don't think she particularly, like you say, she was more there just to kind of move the story forward. Didn't do anything wrong particularly, but didn't stand out in the same way that Sonya did as that believable. Her English, I don't know if it's because she's opposite Wyatt Russell or whether she's really pushing that accent, but it really stood out. The English accent really stood out against the background, and it was kind of it was more jarring than Wyatt Russell's American
for
accent
Sonya, I
at
mean.
times. Yeah.
That is her accent, though, isn't it? Because she's like that in.
That's what I mean. Like,
wow.
But I don't know if she's pushing it more or whether it's because she's like directly opposite an American and like a boisterous American accent that I was like a little bit taken aback by it. But that's maybe just me.
Interesting. Sorry, I was laughing a lot through that because of Collie's audible groan as soon as you said the stranger. Like,
they are crap, man. They're all rubbish.
I've never seen them. I've heard about them.
And Richard Armitage is in that Stranger, and I like Richard Armitage, but he's fucking crap in it. I remember distinctly being like, he is crap.
Fair enough. But what about in this TV show though?
I think she's great. And obviously I like her as Ghost, and she's good as the baddie kind of henchwoman in Ready Player One as well.
Okay.
I think she's really good in that. So yeah, great actress, and I think kind of charm, but then the twist kind of her being revealed within the game and stuff like that, I think is great. And again, similar to 10 Cloverfield Lane, you don't know, is she helping him? Is she hindering him? Is she like manipulating him? And I think she's kind of got that evil look about her to play that, but kind of similar to when she plays Ghost. I think she's got like sympathetic as well. Yeah. She can play sympathetic. She can play not quite damsel in distress kind of stuff, but kind of come with me, I'll save you kind of like I don't know, a look about her or whatever. I just think it's very convincing. Her accent didn't really stand out to me. But I guess now that you mention it, Jordan, now that I think about it, yeah, it is quite distinct just against Wyatt Russell's American. But yeah, great performance. And Wumi Masako and all that she had to do was really, really good. And also I thought Ken Yamamura as Sho, the main guy, like behind the owner of the company and stuff, I thought he was great. And I'd obviously seen him in it before. What's he laughing at?
Oh no, I was just laughing at some stuff he says, which is one of my favorite quotes and stuff. So
I didn't recognize him until I was researching this, but he plays the young bad guy in the Wolverine.
Yeah,
and he's also in. I've rewatched some of the MonsterVerse movies recently. He's in 2014's Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, I thought he was good in this as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right about the Sonya thing. I think it's her eyes. She's got like quite doe eyes that kind of make you like sympathize with her sort of thing. Which again, I think that's what makes her such an interesting anti-hero as Ghost, especially in Thunderbolts. Anyway, maybe it wasted in Ant-Man and Wasp. Wumi Masako. I know obviously I said there about her moving the thing on, but I really liked her as like the narrating voice kind of thing, like kind of talking him through like the house. Like again, she's obviously done that sort of ADR like post sort of filming and stuff. But it just felt her calmness undercut through the kind of like creepiness of the thing and made it even a bit more creepy and stuff as well. So I really enjoyed that side of her performance. Even though, as I say, Wyatt Russell was probably speaking to nobody when he was actually, filming it or whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed that part of it. Yeah, Ken, the Saito guy, I'll speak about him when we get to quotes. Obviously, we kind of touched on the writing for 10 Cloverfield Lane because it was such a tight sort of film and cast and stuff. Was there anything that jumped out for yourself, Todd, writing wise, in this time at all?
It was more just the sort of meta aspect of it. Like, so when he's going through the house and stuff, and he opens the cupboard door, and he's like, he's going to be there behind the door. He plays games and he knows games, and like, you know, it was that idea of it was all the way through, like calling her a gamer and her like cringing at it almost, and being like, yes, I play games. We don't call it. Do you know what I mean? That level of things. I thought that was really well done. And again, I think sometimes I agree, Collie, actually, when you said about post Bandersnatch, a lot of Black Mirror can devolve into the cringe where it's sort of like it almost feels forced. You know, that it's in the realm of technology or whatever. But this felt really real. It felt really real. And it lent itself to people who like games being into it. So yeah, the meta side of it I thought was really clever.
Interesting. Collie, anything to do for you?
No, just yeah. This was when Black Mirror was quote unquote fun, and it kind of had these messages underneath it, and it, yeah, like Todd said, it didn't become a bit cringe and forced. So yeah, like of this season of Black Mirror, when you look at the other episodes, it slots in quite nicely, I think.
Okie doke. Anything else you want to discuss in regards to that at all, or go into stuff? Okie doke. So favorite quote. So yeah, this is I'll just quickly take this one. This is what I was kind of laughing about. It's on behalf of Saito Game Team, I must humbly apologize. Like, and he's like dead. Like, brilliant. Todd, any quotes for yourself?
So I found mine and then had to go back and watch it. It was like, holy shit. It is, would you kindly open the door?
Nice.
Which if you like from BioShock, that's the phrase that's used, and it was only through IMDb that, you know, saw that. Genius to include that. Genius.
Do you want to give the backstory on that BioShock?
Sorry, yeah. So if you haven't played BioShock, number one, what are you doing? But number two, it's the "would you kindly" is a sort of a trigger phrase that almost hypnotizes the main character and gets them to do things that they wouldn't have normally done. And it's said throughout the game, and then the big reveal that that's the phrase that's been keeping him docile and doing what he was supposed to. It's an amazing piece of writing, and wonderful that they've got it in there.
Collie? Cool.
My one was from Sonia when she was explaining the technology. We don't show you your fears; we let your mind do that.
And then scene, Todd.
When Sonia comes to the house and he starts like getting hold of her face, and it starts sort of like melting almost and disfiguring. I think it feels like, you know, the nightmare where the nightmares where you can't run or you can't shout or whatever. It felt like that, where he was trying to like understand who somebody was and couldn't quite get it. I thought it was like genuinely scary, to a point.
I'd hate to be in your head, Todd. Jesus.
That's how it went, man.
At least Todd doesn't have the one when you wake up naked at school or whatever. That would be bad for Todd.
Yeah. Yes, it would.
Why?
Be.
Oh wait, okay, yeah. Yeah, I just got
Why?
I thought you were talking about something else. Never mind.
Oh, mate.
Oh, that was a very good joke, Collie. Well done. My favorite scene was Wyatt Russell with his mum, like towards the end. Like, I thought it was genuinely well acted and like goosebumps, but in a different way. It wasn't like it was obviously scary as well and stuff, but like to see him almost broken, I thought was really well done. Collie?
Yeah, same as you. That twist and reveal at the end, so including the mum scene, but then also the reveal that he'd actually died as well. I thought that the kind of epilogue of the story was really, really well done.
Yeah, definitely. And then MVP, Todd?
Wyatt Russell for me. I think he carried the episode. Not that anybody did anything wrong, but obviously he is the main character, and yeah, it was fantastic right the way through.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell for myself as well. Collie?
Your man who plays the Undertaker, who appears in the game, probably.
Fair enough. Perfect. Okay, and ratings, Todd?
I would have gone 4.5.
I went 4 stars for this. Collie?
4 for me.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Excellent. Well, that is the end of our first episode of Danny. What was it you called him again? Danny T?
Danny T.
Danny T.
Danny T.
Our
we're
delve
moving on-
into the. Oh no, we're going to be covering the Trachtenberg. Sorry, I jumped the gun there.
Yeah, becoming the Trachtenverse next. So, yes, as always, if you're listening on Spotify, remember to follow, give us 5 stars, and if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on Danny T's first couple of films. But guys, thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
But